Hi, Kevin Coop here, and this is FaceTime with the Content Guy. Yes, I'm still in Florida, and let me tell you, I've been down here on business for almost 10 days, and the timing was pretty good. I think I've missed 3 snowstorms. I'm beginning to think that Morning Newsbeat needs to establish a southern office just to be used from like December to March, but that's for another time. I was reading a story the other day in the Seattle Times about a venture capitalist out there named Nick Hanauer. Now, Nick Hanauer has some pretty good timing. Apparently, he invested about $45,000 in Amazon.com back when the company was in its infancy. When he cashed out with more than $100 million. Now, that's what I call a good investment. What was interesting about the story is that it didn't really focus on that so much as it focused on the fact that Hanauer firmly believes there ought to be a national minimum wage of $15 per hour. And as part of that discussion, one of the things that Hanauer said is that he believes that Amazon, over its lifespan, has been responsible for the destruction of something like 1 million jobs. And obviously, he doesn't think that's necessarily a good thing. That's happened because Amazon has disrupted a number of businesses and industries, mostly in the brick and mortar sector. Now, I think that's interesting. And obviously, I'm not going to defend Amazon if it's engaging in a job destruction sort of strategy. And I have a feeling that Amazon's going to have to deal with this over the next few years in the same way that Walmart has had to deal with the whole job destruction accusation over the past few years. And I'd love to see a company like Amazon do something to kind of address that issue as opposed to move forward in a way that maybe would make people feel that they're sort of insensitive to the situation. But I also think that some of this is collateral damage that can't be avoided. It's sort of the result of progress. You know, there's a line in Other People's Money, the movie with Danny DeVito, in which he says, he plays a venture capitalist, he says that what good does it do you if you are the best buggy whip manufacturer on the planet in a world that no longer needs buggy whips? And that's a really, really good question. And it's sort of what we see happening today. You know, some of the things, some of the jobs, some of the businesses that are being disrupted by Amazon and its brethren simply aren't relevant anymore. And when that happens, it's up to those businesses and the people who work for them to figure out ways to be relevant. How are they going to develop new skill sets, new differential advantages that are going to make them relevant in a brand new world? That's what they have to do. Now, some of that's going to be handled by companies and private enterprise. Some of it can be assisted through public policy. But ultimately, it's up to people to say, hey, listen, I've got to see that the fact the world is changing, I've got to change with it. That, ultimately, is the bottom line. Anyway, that's what is on my mind this Thursday morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.